Hi everyone, I'm Maimah Karmo and I'm your host for Breathe TV, a safe space to come to exhale and breathe along your breast cancer journey. Today I have two guests with me who I really adore. My guests today are Kawana Rucker and Marica, two breast cancer survivors, thrivers, and warriors. Dealing with breast cancer comes with a lot of challenges, but also lots of room to figure how to improve your life. We'll be talking today about the importance of therapies that are complementary and how to integrate them into your life in a way that is affordable, comfortable, and that can make your life better during and after your breast cancer journey. And in the spirit of Breathe TV, before I get you to hear their amazing stories, we're going to do our brief guided meditation to set the tone, energy, and get us grounded in this beautiful sacred space. Sit on a cushion or a chair, and you can put your hands on your heart or on your belly and say the following words along with me. I embody love. I embody light. I embody peace. I am grounded. My breath is calm. I am present to life. I am living fully in this moment. I am wonderfully and magically me. And so it is. We talk a lot about, cancer therapies and treatments and, certain tests and how to navigate the breast cancer journey. But we don't often talk about ways to balance our mind and spirit with the body, which is, as you both know, is so important. My whole lifestyle now is complementary. I do prayers, I meditate, I do acupuncture, Reiki. You all both hold a wealth of knowledge and have experience in ways that you integrated holistic health into your life, and you help others to understand how to marry modern medicine with soul and spirituality. So I'm so happy you're here today. And you guys are just both so radiant lights and beautiful. Like the energy is just coming off the screen. I love it. It is. It's just beautiful. I just see light everywhere. I'm gonna start with Kawana first. Can you share a bit about your story, about your coaching business? And by the way, I love your TikTok. It's just great to see young Black women speaking their truth, but sharing healthy information that's inspiring and that's grounded in being themselves. So thank you for doing that. I love watching them. So tell me about your breast cancer journey.
So in 2018, I was doing my routine check for my breast because my mom always taught me to check my breast. She had fibrocystic breast and had some lumps removed when she was in her early 40s. I was checking my breast and I felt something abnormal. I didn't realize I would know what abnormal is because I always felt like my breasts were lumpy, but this did feel different. So I went to the room and I asked my husband to check my breast because he checks my breast too. It was always like a second opinion. And he said, okay, let me check. And he said, yeah, that does feel different. And I encourage women to have someone else check your breast because you can never have enough eyes on it. So I went in, contacted my gynecologist. She checked my breast in the office, gave me a breast exam. She said, yes, that does feel different, but she wasn't really concerned. She said, let me refer you for a mammogram. So I went in within a day. I was doing mammogram, ultrasound, and the mammogram didn't really say much, but the ultrasound showed that there was an area that could be suspicious. So after the ultrasound, the next day they brought me in for a biopsy. After the biopsy, 2 days later, I happened to be at home at 5 o'clock in the evening and I got the call from my gynecologist. She said, well, we have good news and bad news. And I was like, okay, I was not bracing for that at all. The good news was that the large space that she felt was just a fibroid, benign fibroid. but in the lower quadrant of my breast, they found a small triple positive breast cancer. And I don't remember much after that. I remember holding the phone in complete shock, dropping the phone. My husband had just walked in the door. He grabbed the phone, and I just remember saying, God, help me. And that's all I remember. And that day was like a big blur. But that night I was praying, like, God, show me the way, because I know so many women who have had breast cancer, and they're just barely making it post treatments. And I was like, if I have to do all the things, I want to be well after this. So show me. And literally praying that night, he showed me the door of a naturopathic doctor's office and said, call them tomorrow. And that week I met with my oncologist and I met with my naturopathic doctor. And so this has been my journey these 4 years, having a team of people to support me throughout this journey. And I remember asking my oncologist, are you opposed to me having a naturopathic doctor who can support me from a physical and mental perspective? And he said, absolutely not. Do all the things that you need to do for you. And I knew then that I had to be an advocate for myself. I've heard of all the side effects of treatments, and I just didn't want to be suffering. I wanted to be able to rehabilitate and do well. And so that's how I came into this space.
We're talking about, complementary health, and that means spiritual, mental, how you eat, all that. I know that you said you talked to God and you asked God to guide you, right? And he showed you the door to somebody that was helping you. Did your connection with God get stronger during and after your diagnosis?
Absolutely. Absolutely. I think I know God more than I ever knew him before. I feel like, these tests truly do become our testimony. There's a scripture in Revelations that I love that says we overcome by the blood of the Lamb and the power of our testimony. And I remember in that prayer that night when I said, God, show me the way, he said, do you want to be well? Do you want to be whole? And I said, yes. And he said, well, these are the things that you're going to have to do. And that's how I have been guided through this whole journey. And I know people look at me and say, how are you doing so well? Because I put my hands in God's hands. I would have not been the way that I am now had it not been for him. So I have become so close with God.
Yeah, there's a song I love. It's called Overcome. And it says that exact verse is in the song. And I play it all the time when I'm taking my shower, just to ask God to guide me through the day and whatever I do, what I'm thinking, whatever challenge that comes my way. It's so important to have that spiritual connection with whoever you call God to be able to guide you through. I know that I got closer to God during my breast cancer journey, and since having breast cancer, God's like my road dog. Like, I'm like, yo, like, here's what I'm doing today. It's what I want to do. What do you think? Should I go there? Is that person's vibe okay? Like, just everything. And it's not like just going to church or doing that Sunday thing. It's like I talk to God. My life is being lived as a prayer, which I love, and so it's just a different kind of way. And of course, cancer sucks, but having found God in a way that's more intimate has been a beautiful experience. Marica, can you share a bit about your breast cancer journey, what you learned, and how it guided you towards a more complementary lifestyle?
My cancer journey started in 2020. I was diagnosed during the pandemic pretty much. But prior to that, 2019, I noticed on my left breast that there was a scab. And so this scab, though, never healed. It was a couple of months later, and I was like, something's going wrong. I feel like I need to get this checked out. So I'm going to go to my OB and get it checked out. So she checks my breast and goes, you know what, you work out. Maybe it's just from a sweaty bra. Maybe it's atopic dermatitis. And I was like, okay. Monitored it. It never went away. So the second time I go back, we do a little bit more thorough check. And she's like, let's just get a mammogram, just to see. When I got that mammogram, that scar that was there and that sore, I'm talking discharge came out during the mammogram. It was not good. And so I could see the faces of, all the technicians that were helping me during that mammogram. And I could tell that they thought something was off. But the ball started rolling from there. And so we just continued to go along and get more testing. And then I was confirmed with stage 2 in March of 2020, stage 2 invasive ductal carcinoma. My mindset from there, already also having a spiritual life, praying like, okay, what do I do next? And my mode of thinking just went to do some research, figure out what is going to be best for you. And things just started also coming to me, drinking alkaline water. And when I knew I had to start chemo, just God was telling me, move your body, just walk. That's free. Like, if you got to walk slow, do that. And I listened to lots of worship music as I'm walking. And I just always felt like I'm going to be okay. Like, from the time that I feel like God gave this to me for my purpose, my mindset was always, you're going to be okay. You're going to be okay. Just keep doing research, keep doing what feels good to you, and you're going to be okay.
At first, it's like daunting, all the things that you could do to stay healthy, because there's so many things that could contribute to your body being in a state of, disease, mentally, emotionally, spiritually. What did you start off with?
So I started with yoga. I felt that my mind and body had to have a connection. First, my mindset needed to just be in a place where I could be calm. I couldn't be anxious during this process. And because I was able to also move my body as well during yoga, then that was one of the first things I started with.
After getting diagnosed, my body kind of dissociated from myself. And so I didn't feel like my body was my own. I just felt so overwhelmed, a lot of emotions, and I knew that God was going to show me how to use the lesson or use the experience to help other people, but I didn't know what to do yet. I didn't know who I was anymore. My entire life is changing. And so I remember going into a yoga class, and it was so healing. That was my first time being able to breathe again after the year of treatment. And I had tears coming down my eyes, just tears of like, I could breathe. And the yoga instructor, her name's Karen, we're still friends. She just came to me and she gave me her hands and she said, what are you going through? It was just so amazing how something simple as quiet, to hear myself and to release and feel my body doing things I hadn't done before, and having that human touch, touching my soul and my hands. So I really believe there's so much power in yoga, and I just got certified to be a yogi in December in honor of my soul sister, Kat. Yeah, I'm super excited. But Kawana, you are also like Coach Kawana Rucker Wellness, and I see you a lot. Again, I love your TikToks. Can you share a bit about your first foray into wellness before becoming a coach?
Absolutely. And I started with mine first as well. Like I told you, I prayed that night and God just started speaking to me. And the first thing he told me to do was declare that you are healed. And he told me to get notepads and start affirming every time, everywhere I could see within my view that I was healed, and post scriptures with it. So the first thing I did after going to my doctor's appointment was go into my prayer closet and post affirmations across my closet. And at that time, I bought a board and I put scriptures on that. And then God started showing me to not think about myself so much in this situation, but start praying for other people. So then I started putting everybody else's prayer request on that board. And then he told me, as you see your faith rising, you're going to see these people come off of that board, and including yourself. So I kept doing that. And then I would drive to work in the morning and I would post stickers across my dashboard. And then I had them on the back of my bed. Everywhere I could see, I was posting scriptures about healing, because I knew that if there was nothing else that we know about the word of God, is that he healed. He healed over and over and over again. So that was the first thing that I did, was just really affirm and then pray, and yoga and meditation also. I love yoga. And so I started doing my yoga even deeper. Yoga with Adrienne on YouTube. I started doing all of her yoga and meditations. And I just started feeling, in that moment, I started understanding my purpose. God showed me that you are going to help others overcome. The first thing it comes with is giving hope.
It's amazing. I mean, I love how you were sitting in a body that was doing certain things, but your first thought was, how can I pray for other people at this time? And what that speaks to in terms of complementary health is like, thinking outside of what you see. I love the idea that you both talked about, like mindset. It's so important to have reminders of who you really are and where you're going to go in your life, because when you're surrounded with cancer and you're not feeling well, it's very easy to kind of get into a mode of despair and sadness. Of course, there's room to feel bad or to doubt or to grieve, but you have to figure out how to put things in your space to like embody beauty and light and what you want to feel. So that is so amazing that you both did that. What about things like, Reiki, acupuncture? Did you try any of those things?
Yes. And I actually, so what happened was when I started talking to my oncologist and I said that I wanted to do some alternative things, he said, well, you could go see Dr. Margaret over at the Hillman Center. She is our integrative oncologist, and she does acupuncture and massage and some of those things. And I said, okay, but I didn't go at the time. I was kind of like, okay, let me get through what I'm getting through right now without having to pay extra expenses, because even though it was a part of the network of hospitals, I would have to pay out of pocket to do those things. So I couldn't afford acupuncture at that moment. They gave me that pamphlet sitting in the office that said, these are things that can help you reduce your risk of cancer. And it was diet, and it was exercise, and it was having a support group. And I was thinking, diet? What diet? Nobody told me. Like, they gave me a pamphlet, but they didn't tell me what diet to follow. They told me to exercise, but they didn't tell me which exercises to do. So that's when I started working with my naturopathic doctor, and I was like, okay, what diet, what exercises? And he started kind of going over things with me because he had dealt with a lot of cancer patients. And he just started talking to me about eliminating some things like dairy and, some of those things. And so I started there, but eventually I ended up doing acupuncture. I've done Reiki. I had acupuncture yesterday. It is something that has truly helped me with scar tissue, with pain. A lot of people deal with a lot low blood cell counts. It's helped maintain those. It's helped me with anxiety, headaches, some of the side effects from some of the, things that we've done. So it's been amazing for me.
So you mentioned something briefly, Kawana, and I want to ask Marica. So, as we learn about ways to be more integrated with our health, we talked about, mindset, there's therapy, there's coaching, there's Reiki, acupuncture, sound baths, yoga, foot baths, there's colonics, all these different things. Some people can't afford. They can't afford to buy this stuff, right? To your point, Kawana, it's cheaper to buy a burger than to get cucumbers and tomatoes and healthy food. So how do we change that within our healthcare system to make this part of how we support patients in a way that they don't have to go out of pocket for or not be able to access it all?
Accumulating resources that are either free or low cost, apps online like the Calm app, apps that are going to help if you don't have the money for a therapist, even like the sound baths and stuff. There's a lot of different YouTube and different free resources. Also too with the foods, yes, those things are expensive. But my thing is always start slow, in moderation. You don't have to just eliminate your entire diet, but just simply starting to incorporate small things. If you've only been drinking 20 ounces of water a day, drink a little bit more. Put that up to 25, 30, 40, just start slow and start somewhere, and then as you continue to make these different lifestyle changes, then I feel you'll start seeing changes, and those things were, free or no cost.
Yeah, so can you share with our viewers, what is your daily holistic health, mind, body, spirit routine from the morning to the evening time?
Speaking of apps, so the daily Bible verse, every day, it's a Bible verse, and I try and just get that in my head first. Like, God, you come first. You're my priority. And I feel like when I put my God first, then all these other things are going to be added, right? I'm going to, start my day with gratitude. I'm going to start with my mindset, start with my Bible verse, and then somewhere throughout the day after I've gotten my routine going, I'm trying to connect with friends and family. I want to talk to other people just to be grateful that I do have people to talk to. I do have people in my life, and that helps me. I may be able to walk 3 miles that day if I have the time. And then at the end of the night, if I can end with a mask and I can end with prayer, then I feel like my day has been fulfilled.
I love that. Kawana, what is your morning to evening mental, spiritual, body routine?
Absolutely starts with God first. I wake up in the morning and I am grateful. Gratefulness makes room for more. I tell people that all the time. I'm like Marica. I feel like once you give him your first fruits, he'll add everything unto you, and he'll tell you what your day is going to look like. And so I tell people, exercise for me doesn't look the same every day. Meditation to me doesn't look the same every day. What I eat doesn't look the same every day. It's really what God gives me. So this morning I woke up, I said my prayers. I knew I had this going on. Said my prayers, and the first thing he said was, you need a good hot shower. So I took a hot shower this morning. I did my breast massage because I believe in breast massages. They really help. And then I came downstairs and I made my morning smoothie because I typically do a smoothie or a green juice every single morning. And then from there, I will get my exercise in. It's usually around noon or right around the 4 to 5 o'clock hour after I've had lunch. I tend to eat more at my lunch hour and less at dinner. And then after that is a spending quality time with my husband. When he gets here, I am really big on being intentional with our relationship. So we don't talk about work. We typically talk about work during the day, but when he gets home and I get home, it's just me and him. I always make sure every day I watch something funny because laughter is so important. Like, I literally laugh every single day at something. If it's me doing a silly dance, like my husband turned on music, I'm dancing, being silly, I'm all about laughter because it can be so healing. And then before bed, it is being thankful. I wake up grateful, I go to bed thankful, and I do my deep breathing at night right before bed to just decompress. I turn off all electronics, I take my melatonin, and I go out like a light.
Amazing. I love that. We sound like we're like triplets right now because I'm the same way. In the morning, my first thing is like, oh my God, my eyes are open. Thank you, God, that I'm awake and alive. And I do a full body scan from head to toe, and I'm just like, oh my God, I can think, and my eyes are open and I can see. And then I touch my hands and I can feel, and everything's working. And I go from my head to my everything, my lips. I can taste and I can talk, and it just, when you start your day off like that, even when you don't feel your best, it's just so amazing how many things work in concert to keep us alive and moving forward. I want to try things that are going to help me live longer. And if I can't do it 100%, I can do it at 95% or 90% or 50%, but you're trying to do things that can help you to grow. Before we sign off, I have 2 more things to ask you both. So first of all, I believe you guys are cousins.
We are cousins.
Did you always know you were cousins? Or I heard it happened some kind of way. Like, what happened? How'd you find out you were cousins?
When Tigerlily reached out to us and said they wanted us to be angels, we get online and we're, doing our programs every week. But there was something, I will be honest, there was something about Marica. Like, there was just a disconnection. I can remember us, like, I would say stuff in the chat and she would always like affirm me. And I was like, this girl's like my spiritual sister from somewhere. Like, there's something about her. I remember saying that. And I remember telling my husband, there's a girl in the class, Marica. I said, and we're almost done. I was like, I'm going to reach out to her on Instagram. She followed me and I followed her. And then we just kind of started talking that day. And I was like, so where are you from? And she's like, well, I'm from Arkansas. And I'm like, no, you're not. She's like, yeah. I'm like, oh, okay. I'm from Missouri, but I have roots in Arkansas. My mom is from Arkansas. And so I was like, well, what part of Arkansas? And she's like, Monticello, Arkansas. I was like, wait a minute. I was like, well, let's go on Ancestry. And it came up 4th cousins. And so I called my mom. I'm like, Mom, remember the girl I was telling you about I want to stay connected to? I said, she's a Jones and she's Erica's cousin. I was like, oh yeah, those are our cousins from the hills. Like, she knew who they were. So I knew there was something about her. I was like, it was like a mirror to me when we were going through that training. And then to find out we both had HER2 positive cancer and neither one of us had a genetic disposition. In that moment when I found that out, the day, I remember feeling like I wasn't alone, because I felt alone because I am really the only person in our family who's dealt with this. So I was like, oh, I'm not alone anymore. God, thank you for bringing her into my circle and crossing us these paths. So now we're like we're like connected, and I'm so grateful for God, and I'm thanking for Tigerlily. Otherwise, I would have never known.
Isn't that amazing that you both were related and you came together through seeking a place to be better for the world and for yourselves? I love that. You guys, it's so interesting. It just, you guys radiate. It's so beautiful. Can you first, Marica, and then Kawana, share some light and love and beautiful, holistic, complimentary message with the audience that you can leave them with as a gift?
I mean, I really feel like, in a way, maybe my life has sort of prepared me for this moment. I had been sort of asking God what my purpose was, and then after going through all of this, I feel better now, more healthier than I even did prior to breast cancer. I thought I was healthy. I thought I was living my best life. But now when I'm on my spiritual journey, I feel like I'm just in my better health. And I feel like if you ask your God to give you something, don't be surprised. He may give it to you. You may not know, how or why you're going on this journey. Be in a partnership with God. Ask questions, believe what you pray for, and I feel you'll get your answers and you'll know what your purpose is and what your journey is.
Beautifully said. That's so beautiful. Kawana?
I'm so grateful for today as well, Maimah. I follow you and I love everything that you do, and you're a beautiful light and flower in this world. I mean, the Tigerlily Angel Foundation and everything that's come from it has been such a blessing. So I'm grateful. I'm grateful. And I'm grateful that you connected me with my cousin, because like I said, now I don't feel alone. One thing I would leave the world with is find community. We were not to be navigating this world alone. You need someone in your life that can pour into you spiritually when you've been diagnosed with something of this nature. And I know the support groups can be overwhelming. I had never been a part of a support group, but I did find my tribe, and that was through being a part of integrative health groups that were women trying to overcome cancer. And from that, it has opened up great opportunity and has really helped me understand all the things. So we're not meant to be alone. So where two or three are gathered together, he's in the midst of us. And so there's strength in numbers. My second point would be just advocate for yourself. Make your voice heard, speak loud, speak boldly, and speak often. A girlfriend of mine said that to me. She's an amazing advocate for our health. And I truly believe that's the most important way. If we're going to get beyond the disparities, if we want to see Black women, especially young women under the age of 40, overcome cancer, we have to speak loud, and we have to speak often, and we have to speak boldly, and understand that it's going to take more than the treatment. Your mind and your body have to come in alignment in order to overcome disease. If you don't do anything else, first start with your mind. So if you can't afford to go to an acupuncturist or a therapist, turn on your phone, turn on your YouTube, find some prayers. I love Les Brown. I listen to him about every day going to treatments. He would always talking about the power of overcoming. Speak life over yourself, speak life over other people, and think less about yourself. It's not all about you. At the end of the day, God is going to get the glory out of your story. So those are my gems for you.
You have all these gems that you just said. God will take your story and use it for his glory. And I think that's so beautifully said. It's so important to understand how to have that mind, body, and spirit alignment. We focus too much on just cancer treatment and not enough adding in how to stay healthy. The body needs to have both. Before you integrate anything that's complementary, talk to your doctor first and get his or her advice. But you've seen Kawana and you've seen Marica talk about it as well, and myself. I am a 16-year breast cancer survivor of triple negative breast cancer. Triple negative breast cancer until recently wasn't targeted by treatment. So I had two choices. One was to just kind of give up and just wait. And the other was to see what was out there that I could implement in the world by helping other people. And I'm still here 16 years later. And even if it wasn't this long, I made every moment matter. And that's what life's about, making every single moment count. So I hope you enjoyed the episode. I'm so filled spiritually right now. I feel like we've been in a beautiful meditation for this time. I'm so glad you found each other through this advocacy work. And if you need support, we're here for you. Tigerlily has classes that we offer where we do meditation and yoga and sound baths and prayer and fitness. And the community of women are like these two that are here to embrace you and give you so much love and support throughout your journey. Thank you so much for watching, sending you so much light and love. And thanks for watching Breathe TV. Until next time, love yourself and love your life. Thank you so much, and bye for now.